That fly. Oh my God. What? I'm not even introducing myself here. I don't care. It's too weird for me. I'm not good with introductions. It's just not going to work for me. It's not going to work for me because that's not how I live my freaking life. Mm. Right. Relax, Jen. This whole yawning business is because you're not relaxed, you're not being you. When I decided to start a YouTube channel, I knew that I wanted to use it to thank some of the people who've made a difference in my life that I would never otherwise be able to thank. And MJ at Soulful Revolutions is one of them. And I had it in my head that I was going to cook for these people that I want to thank. And I even had a really good idea for her that she could share with her collective. But this morning I had this thought. I had this thought that maybe I could share something else, but maybe I should share something else with her. And then I thought, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's like too scary or something. So naturally, I turned to the wisdom of the oracle, and what I got was this, which basically just confirmed to me that I should do that thing that I just thought about that seemed like the scarier thing to do. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense to use that as a thank you to her. So, in honor of my appreciation for her and her decision to start her channel, I want to offer a message of hope to her collective and mine. As someone who's faced the kind of darkness that we're facing right now and healed enough to be willing to choose to love again and to trust again, I want to extend my light as a beacon of hope during the darkness that I think is ahead for us. Because I'm not afraid of that darkness. I've been up against that darkness in my past, and I've survived, and I've learned to thrive in spite of it. So I'm not afraid to build the bridges that we need built with that right at my back, because I'm not afraid. And I think there's a lot of us in my position who have come here to experience the hardship that we've experienced just so that we can be strong enough to carry everyone else through it. And if you're watching and you and your family are going through some really difficult adverse experiences, particularly with a child, know that there's hope. There is hope. We can make the future a better and safer place for everyone. As somebody who didn't have support after facing a lot of hardship, the thing that would have made the biggest difference to me would have been somebody to be there, to be present, and to validate my experiences. And I think just that alone can change so much. It can change our trajectory so much. And if those of us who are in my position who've survived those experiences, if we can live through that, then the other half, maybe half of society can sit with us through it, not having experienced it themselves. You are strong enough. You are strong enough. Together, we're strong enough to deal with this. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to share was I had recorded some going back to what inspired me to not cook for MJ as a thank you. I came home from the store the other day, and because I've been practicing being on camera because it's been really difficult for me, I recorded myself just trying to process some of the things I was thinking about. And it wasn't intended to be something that I shared, but the reason I want to thank MJ is because when I was going through a really difficult time over the last 2 months, she, how do I say this? She served as a channel through which my team, whoever they are, was able to communicate encouragement to me to step into my new path. And I was so afraid to do it that I needed every bit of help that I could get. So I'm going to tack that on to this video and share that part of my life. And hopefully it will bring some comfort to people who are worried right now, in knowing that there's probably a lot of people like me who are going to be stepping up into positions of leadership all over the world in all facets of life to make tomorrow a place that we want to be. MJ, thank you for leaving your job and following your true calling. Okay. We're recording this just for us, Jen. This is not for... We're just recording this because I think it'll help me really sort out my thoughts here, because I'm having lots of them that fly. Just like 2 months ago, I don't know what happened to me. It was like somebody just flipped the light switch on, and I remembered who I was. For the last 20 years, I've had this memory that I didn't understand was a memory until just recently. I remember agreeing to a soul contract before I came here to this life. I have a memory of that, and it's been following me around for 20 years. And I was like, every time I thought about it, I was like, I don't know what that is. It's so weird. Like, why is this in my head? Why can't I get this out of my head? For 20 years. But I was sitting. I think my mind is putting an image to it that this human experience can understand, because I feel like the visual that I have of this was a metaphor, because the memory is actually not a visual memory. It's like a knowing, like a sentient, like it's just a knowing. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the visual that I have that makes sense of this feeling is there are 5, specifically 5. I don't know why. There's 5 of us, whoever, whatever kind of beings we are, we're sitting at this table. And one of them has a stack of papers and they're going through them, and people are volunteering. They're like taking their assignments, and they came to this Jen's life, and everybody got quiet, and I had been sitting back in this meeting, not saying anything, just passively observing. And after that couple of seconds of silence, I came forward and I said that I will do that. I will live that life so that they don't have to. And it wasn't a self-sacrificing thing, and it wasn't that there aren't people who have harder lives than me. I think what it was, like, now looking back, I understand why, if that situation was real, I understand why someone would be intimidated by coming here and living my life, because my job here was to live through a ridiculous amount of interpersonal trauma in the beginning of my life, and facing like one challenge after another, and all through adulthood be facing like situations where people are trying to take advantage of me and being successful at it. But my job here was to live through all of that and still be a person who cares about humanity. Still be a person who loves other people, and somebody who will come out of that still being a loving, caring person who is brave enough to do what I'm doing right now. And maybe it doesn't feel like it would be that brave for maybe you, if you're whoever you are. It's taken a lot of courage for somebody like me who spent their whole life hiding just so they could feel safe, to come online and put themselves out there in this way, in this authentic way, nonetheless. So what I'm saying is, like, I had this memory of this, and just recently I was like, it makes sense. I all of a sudden I was like, that was real. That was real. That I'm here for a reason. I have a job to do. I have a mission here. I'm here for the bridge building. I'm here to help build the bridge from the world that we're in now, from the hole that we're in now, the ladder that we need to get out of this mess. I'm one of the people that's supposed to help build the ladder or the bridge to get us to the new world. It's not about repairing this world. It's not about fixing this world. It's about building a whole new one. I'm here to help build the whole new world. When I realized that, and how it made sense of my whole life and all the things that I've taught myself how to do to be independent from, to try to get independent from the system of oppression that we live in, It all made sense. I'm not here to be protesting. I'm not here to be fighting. I'm here to teach. And to learn. And to learn, for sure to learn. I spent the first half of my life learning so that I could teach. Not that I'm done learning. There's so much that I have left to learn still. I felt so overwhelmed when I realized all of this. Was it was so overwhelming. I just felt like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I don't know how else to explain this, but it felt kind of like all of a sudden I realized that I was in a movie and I was the main character. Of course I'm the main character in my life, but I don't know how else to explain that feeling. Like, we grow up hearing things like, you have to, like, you have to lead the way, you have to be the change that you want to see in the world, and we all just sit back and we're like, yeah, you should do that, not realizing that message is for us. It's for us to be active participants in our lives. Why else are we here? And it just made me wonder, maybe partially the reason, at least partially the reason I'm having such a hard time, at least partially the reason that I'm having a hard time filming like cooking tutorials is because that's not even what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, what if the whole point in this, maybe it isn't about cooking at all? What if it's actually about having a channel where somebody actually shows up for other people? It's about being me as an authentic experience in a world where everything feels so fake. This feels so bizarre. Coming on here and being like, I'm making a channel, don't know why. I don't know what is out there, God, universe, spirits, I don't freaking know. Aliens. I'm going with aliens. The aliens are telling me that I have to do this, and I'm like, I don't have an instruction manual. Like, I just assumed cooking because I've always thought about it, but maybe it's actually supposed to be secondary to this channel being about an anchor to something real. So yeah, I got back from Walmart, and I had all that like dumped on me emotionally, just like, the aliens put in my head. I don't know if there are aliens, but if there are, I was one of them. I was one of them before I came here. That's for sure. I feel like an alien on this planet because when I follow a recipe, it doesn't work. I am not supposed to live in a box. That's why. I'm not supposed to live in a box. I don't fit in a box. I feel like my energy doesn't even fit in this body sometimes. It feels like this big and it's being compressed into this tiny little person. I think that's what ADHD feels like. So it's hard for me to share my spirituality because it's, in some ways, it's in its infancy, even though I'm 40 years old. But when I was faced with a situation at work that was not, like, we weren't going to be able to reconcile our differences. And at that point, even if we could have, I was no longer willing to be a participant. I was no longer willing to show up at the table to compromise or to try to find a way to work together with corporate America. But in that moment, I started manifesting, consciously or not, it doesn't even matter. I started manifesting my freedom because I just felt so trapped. And I realized like the only thing I've ever wanted in my whole existence here is to feel free. I manifested my freedom from my workplace so fast that it kind of left my head spinning. And then as soon as I got out of there, all I did was worry. All I did was worry about how I was going to get back to work. Like where I was trapped, and I had grown into, I was born in that cage, and I had grown into a bird that fit in that cage. And then when I got out of that cage, it was my job to grow into a being that fit into this expansive universe. And that was really intimidating to me, because I walked out of the cage into a space where infinite growth was expected of me. But since I am free and I am brave enough to take on the task of infinite growth, apparently, I'm brave enough to take on the task of growing infinitely on camera for everybody else to see. That's what I think I'm going to do. I seriously am doubting whether, am I supposed to be doing the empty chair technique for the whole world to see, to model how people are supposed to grow as human beings so we can get out of this? Is that what I'm doing? Because actually that kind of makes sense, but it really is annoying. That's really annoying. It's just, I feel like I know where I'm going. I just don't know how to get there. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. And I think I'm supposed to let you all watch me figure that out. But I'm thinking about the fact that I've been gifted a year of freedom. But I'm thinking maybe what I would like to do with it is make it my job to grow as a person. And I think there could be a lot of value in documenting that. I'm no longer interested in fitting into our current society because I would like to be in a new society. I feel too small to exist in that space. A key to understanding how we get there is acknowledging that we can't get there as we exist now. We're the infant right now. And we need to grow into the shoes that are required to walk into that new world. Time for therapy with the universe. I'm Jen, and if you see a fly zooming around, his name is Tim, and it's time for therapy with the universe. Because that's my new job. That is my new job. I'm going to use these cards to ask the universe. Something's banging around down there. I know I'm home alone. I'm going to ask the universe what part of my life it wants me to reflect upon, where there's an opportunity for growth. And I'm going to let you watch.